And there's no question that up to now, youth voters aren't engaged to the same degree we saw in the last couple elections. Now, the hardest thing I've certainly ever done in politics was work on an effort to try and turn out young people. It's a really hard thing to do. The means to do it, social media and all the other ways that, we try to increase turnout, don't matter at all if you don't have the magic of passion about a candidate. So I think often in this, it's like, well, you guys did this, and back in '08, it was website and email. By 12, it was much more social media. Had good analytics, and good messaging, but none of that would have mattered if young people weren't motivated by Barack Obama, as they were conservative young people by Ronald Reagan in the '80s, as young people were motivated by both McCarthy and Kennedy back in '68. So without that passion, you can't manufacture it. So you can do all the smartest things in the world tactically and using technology, but if younger people aren't feeling it, and they're not talking amongst themselves, both online and offline, and nudging their friend and say, come on, it's time to register, or they're talking to their cousin and say, come on, you gotta vote. If that's not happening, you're gonna get pretty poor turnout.
There is no Southern problem. There is no Northern problem. There is only an American problem. And we are met here tonight as Americans, not as Democrats or Republicans. We are met here as Americans to solve that problem.
And we will make America great again.
Once again, we are a house divided. That, my friends, can no longer be. We are facing too many crises. We have too much work to do. We have too bright a future to have it shipwrecked on the shoals of anger and hate.
This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. He said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
In a good presidential year, slightly more than half the people vote who are eligible, and the other half don't. And during an off-year election, when the president's not at the top of the ticket and people aren't getting as much attention, 40% of the people vote. Now, this system doesn't work if people opt out. And the easiest cure, the simplest cure for what ails our democracy is everybody voting. So don't let people tell you that what you do doesn't matter. It does.